Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to be bringing you IT and DevOps Masterclass. And in this class, I'm going to be discussing a lot of resources that I have made available on the internet, including my online book, which is called The Direct Path to Linux Ubuntu, a practical guide to Linux Ubuntu, which has 15 chapters on Linux Ubuntu platform. And I'm also teaching you Bash scripting, shell scripting, ZSH, Python, C, C++, awk, and a lot of other related PDF technical documentation, videos online, everything on the website, MyWebUniversity.com, as well as my YouTube channel, which is this channel that I'm bringing you the IT and DevOps Masterclass. So my name is Wahidullah Lutfy. I have a Master of Science degree in Computer Science from Cal State Fullerton. I also have my Bachelor of Science from Cal State Fullerton in Computer Science major, and as well as I have taught classes at university level, such as a National University, Cal State Fullerton, and then Computer Learning Center, Pasadena City College, a lot of other places. I have worked full-time jobs while I was teaching part-time at the university level for many years. So I have more than 36 years of experience, which I'm going to bring you these courses online so I can help students, developers, DevOps, researchers, data scientists, programmers to enhance their career. And then these books and PDF files, no matter what level you are, beginners, intermediate, advanced level, mastery level, I have documentations and I have videos for you, more than 1,900 videos on the English channel, and then about 400 on the Farsi channel, and a lot of more than 100,000 PDF files available, and as well as the entire internet, which I will show you later on. You can get any technical documentation in computer science related topics from my website by visiting my website, and I'll show you how to do that one. So stay tuned with the entire course because I'm teaching you everything that I made on those videos and my website in this video. In this video, I teach you information technology or IT with DevOps, a kind of career for students and researchers and developers. And if you're a dev person, you definitely need these videos and technical documentation, no matter what level you are. And I'm teaching you the master class, which covers a lot of variety of them, including the Complete IT and DevOps Masterclass, which covers a Linux operating system. On Linux operating system, I cover different flavor of Linux, which would be different distribution like Fedora distribution, Ubuntu distribution, SUSE, and then a lot of other ones. For just for Linux Fedora distribution, I have already had courses on Linux Fedora distribution, on Linux Rocky, Linux CentOS, and then Linux Red Hat. At the same time, for Linux Ubuntu, I have a Linux Ubuntu. My entire book, The Direct Path to Linux Ubuntu, is written completely on a Linux platform. And then on that one, I just show you a lot of stuff. Whether you learn the basic of Linux, intermediate level, advanced level, I have courses for you. Also, I cover the Windows operating system because when you work on a Mac or a Linux or Unix, Mac is Unix, basically BSD distribution, and then OpenBSD and BSD Berkeley software distribution. But Linux is just Linus Torvalds that back in 1992, 91 that came out with the Linux version has been really awesome operating system. It has a lot of features. It, in some ways, Solaris operating system, which was certified on 2003 on, and then I had supported a lot of Solaris platform, and I had a lot of videos on Solaris platform as well on my YouTube channel. You are welcome to learn from on the Solaris platform or BSD platform or Linux. I have videos for you. At the same time, if you're learning Windows platform, I have a lot of Windows operating system, PowerShell cmdlets, PowerShell scripting, PowerShell integrated mode, which is PWSH. The PowerShell integration also runs on Linux platform. So you have a set of commands that runs on PowerShell already on Windows. And then you have all set of bash and ZSH and every utility set of grep, ggrep and fgrep and pkel or mount. All of these commands also available within the PowerShell integrated mode, meaning that you are running Windows PowerShell with Linux PowerShell as well as Linux Bash and Unix utilities, programming languages, all integrated in PWSH is the binary or the that you could start using it. Bash, born again shell, is the superset of sh, which was born shell. The sh was the initial shell that Linux and Unix came with. And then later on, the corn shell, ksh, was introduced, which was a superset of born shell. Then bash, born again shell, was all the features of born shell and corn shell were put together, and they call it born again shell. Then ZSH was also introduced. ZSH is a superset of all shells, including bash and C shell, which is a C-like syntax, true C shell, TSCSH. So ZSH has graphic interfaces, theme, and then all the functionality that bash already had. ZSH has it. So ZSH is a superset of bash, true C shell, born shell. Watch my other videos on these ones. I have done a lot of graphic theme and a lot of kind of looping functions and automation with PowerShell, PWSH, Bash, ZSH. I have a lot of videos there, including Python. Python, I have covered functional programming of Python as well as object-oriented programming of Python. So Python supports both functional programming as well as object-oriented programming, and it has a lot of great modules. The modules are so robust that you can do AI kind of coding with Python, like NumPy, regular expression, pandas, and then maybe TensorFlow. All of those ones are available within Python, and you get a set of them. And I show you on my website how you can get technical documentation for all those modules, all those libraries that are inside Python, or get to docs.python.org and look at PDF version of ZSH, PDF version of Bash, Python, PDF version of GCC, PDF version of G++, which is for C++. The GNU C collection compiler, GCC, is also a GNU utility or compilers that are available. Similarly, Java is available. So on my technical documentation PDF version, I could show you hundreds of thousands of technical documentation from my website, including Visual Studio Code, Node.js, and then JavaScript, and so on. All of those ones, Python, Perl, Bash, Swift, everything that you can name it. If there's a technical manual pages available on the platform, I could generate you a PDF version of it on the fly, dynamically. You could just type in go-build, and I'll just generate you the Go documentation. From there, I would point you to the PDF version, and then you could just search for HTTPS, which is a secure page, for the URL, the reference, and from there you can just get into any website that's on the internet available, and then now you have millions of technical documentation at your fingertips. You don't have to move from your place of whether it's at the house or work, or you don't have to go to visit thousands of libraries in order to see thousands of books. You could see millions of books just by typing a few commands there. I'll show you how to. And please stay tuned and watch those ones. I'll show you how to do it. If you know how to do it, you don't need to buy books. You don't need to do anything. You just keep reading, and then on your browser. Everything is under your browser, whether you use your portable devices or desktop or laptop, anything, as long as you have internet access, reliable internet access, and also the desire to learn, and then you could just do it. The passion, you have to have it. If you have it, obviously, you shine like a star at your job, at everywhere you go. You by sharing with other ones, you will also shine much, much better. So make sure you share your knowledge. Artificial intelligence and cloud computing. There's a lot of AI stuff, or whether it's a Gemini or a ChatGPT or Llama or Olama, all of those ones, DeepSeek, all of those ones, I'll be having some videos there. And if I have it already, that's great. If I don't, I'll make additional videos. Like for Gemini, I don't have it right now, but I will make videos on those ones. But Olama and other ones, I have already done it. So ChatGPT and stuff. So just stay tuned on those ones. And then these ones, let me just go back here. I think we were on this page, and I just keep talking about these ones. So and this is that class called IT and DevOps Masterclass. The reason I call it Masterclass, look at how many topics I'm going to be discussing: Linux operating system, Windows, PowerShell integration, Bash, ZSH, Python, C, C++, Visual Studio Code, IDE, Node.js, JavaScript, Node.js, which is the server side of JavaScript, technical documentation and PDF, AI, and cloud computing, high performance computing, cloud computing. So this is going to be brought to you at my YouTube channel, as well as MyWebUniversity.com, my website. Introduction and agenda. So let's talk about what is the agenda for this class. On this class, what I'm going to be covering, I'm going to cover IT and DevOps Masterclass, and then also I cover the direct path to Linux Ubuntu, at least chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, and chapter 5. Those are intermediate, beginners, intermediate, advanced, and shell scripting on the book that I have. But I have more on those ones. I will cover chapter 12, which is dynamic generation for the PDF, and other ones. So if you go to mywebuniversity.com website, it's a secure website, which means HTTPS. SSL certificate is running. The website is up and running. Like you see here, the two key, private key, public key. If you click on this one, connection is secure. So everything is going through secure connection. Certificate is valid. You can see it is registered under MyWebUniversity, so I pay for it. If you want to just return the favor, because I'm providing a website, I'm providing all these videos, I'm providing my time, I'm supporting you with so many things available on my website. If you register and sign up for my classes, or right now I don't have any certificate program or anything there, but everything that I'm providing you through these resources are free. For example, if you want to watch my videos, you click on videos in English here or videos in English here. These menus are just these four features that I'm providing you. Videos in English, you click on it, basically you will get 1,900 videos on the MyWebUniversity, and these are college level courses. So whether you want to learn Windows and Linux tips and tricks, I have videos for you, C++, Red Hat, full course, Rocky, full course, PDF, Solaris operating system, advanced Linux. You can name it, Windows subsystem, the kernel of Linux, how it works, architecture, MySQL database, R language, and then you can name everything that is out here. You can see that I have videos for you. So if you click on any of these ones just to go next, for example, you can see that I have Fedora distribution, Bash scripting, Red Hat, and so on. And then here, if you just see that courses are Bash scripting, MySQL, and for each statement, Olama AI stuff. There's a lot of videos, and then you can click on it to watch them, and there. And you can see here the 1,900 videos, they're all going to help you some way. This is like OS command line injection for cybersecurity. If you're into cybersecurity, I have courses for cybersecurity for you. Windows PowerShell, I have courses for you. You like to learn soccer, I have videos for you. If you just do common cybersecurity trust, there's courses. How to create React and Vite courses, JavaScript, how to do Docker, containerization, VirtualBox, virtual machine, everything is here. You can see HTML, CSS, GIMPs, there's, you name it, I have course for you. That 1,900 courses, Windows subsystem on Kali Linux, Python programming on that one, Pandas, Conda, everything, NumPy, regular expression, everything is right here. You can see here. Even like the story of Al-Khawarizm, which is algorithm, the name was kind of diverted from, derived from Al-Khwarizmi. Muhammad bin Musa Al-Khwarizmi was the Persian mathematician back in the 9th century. And then Boolean George, Boolean George was basically a British mathematician that came out with Boolean algebra. And there's a lot of videos here, so you could learn PowerShell and Bash scripting and so on. If you just go on and on, look at how much just on the videos you could learn. Linux, Ubuntu, full course, one of them is 6 hours, the other one is 2 hours, 1 hour 49 minutes. This is full course, beginner to novice to expert level. So you could learn a lot of that on Python programming on Linux, Python programming on Windows. So you can name it. Like if you want to do backup, I have videos for you, how to do your website backup and how to Linux, Ubuntu, Mint, if you want to discover shell scripting. You can see that there's so much video, Rocky Linux version. And then automation with PowerShell, Python PDF version that generate thousands of technical documentation, which I will show you later. And then, so there's a lot here. You can see that you can just go and keep learning it. Red Hat Enterprise full courses. If you're a system administration or administrator or a DevOps person, you need to refresh your memory for DNF command, Ubuntu commands, or DNF, RPM, YAM, or Ubuntu apt or apt-get, or installing software. These videos are for you. Python, IPython, Jupyter Lab, anything that you want, there's videos for you. And it's all free. NumPy, so many videos for NumPy. There, look at that. The Linux manual pages. So I'm kind of surprised that I still have only 3,000 subscribers, 3,080 as of today. But I'm sure it's going to grow, and I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy these videos and share it with people. And then at some point, maybe you guys join our channel, so that way I could get some support from those members that are appreciating my time and my resources that I'm paying for it right now, so I could just continue doing this one. Otherwise, I may just have to stop making more videos because I cannot support it if I don't get any subscribers, any people watching it, or any member joining it. And then the courses has to be like Google and other ones. They will just maybe use it the way everybody else is charging fees to provide these courses. There's a lot of courses that are available that are not as good quality, but they still charge. I want to make sure that these courses are free. And I understand that none of us want to just keep joining channel and pay for subscription and everything, or joining a channel and pay $2 a month or something. But at the same time, you have to think of the resources that are these YouTubers or people that they make on YouTube available. They are spending a lot of times there, and also they're doing like my website, for example, on MyWebUniversity.com. If I go here, I wrote these books for you with 15 chapters. I spend a lot of time. So when I say, okay, these books are available for you to get any technical documentation, imagine that in the past, you would go to libraries, you would go to classes, and now if you say, well, I took a Python class, but I cannot afford it. Actually, this program, I wrote it as a result of one of my students at Pasadena City College. They were telling me that, he was telling me actually that, Wahid, I cannot afford to buy the book. And the book is expensive, was 100 something. And then he says if I can get the PDF version for $9 or $7. And I borrowed my book to him and saying that, okay, I'll just give a lot of documentation on a USB for you. I actually gave him one of my USB to help him out. And at the same time, and say, okay, here's the download stuff. You don't need to get everything online, but you can use it from there. At the same time, when I was a college student, I felt that kind of pain myself because I could afford for paying for my master's degree because I was working 2 jobs, but I couldn't afford to buy books every semester, new books. So what I was doing, it was I would sit down in the library, borrow multiple books and reading it at home, or just sometimes make a copy of it with on the library to see what assignment was due. So I wrote this Python program, which is called the dynamic generation of Unix manual pages in PDF format. So when you click on this one, this is kind of like an AI kind of program that is smart enough to say what you want to search for. So the program is called man to PDF, and then the command argument, whatever you type in here, like here I type in ZSH, I already generate the ZSH.pdf version for you when you click on it. The program says, okay, here's the PDF version. A student doesn't want to learn by book on the ZSH. So how do I help him out? I say, well, this is the manual pages, but it's only 5 pages, right? So you might just learn this one, it's not enough. But notice here, there's a trick, that the trick I showed you in a few other videos. So there, in every documentation, whether it's Linux documentation, PowerShell documentation, Windows and anything, sometimes when they give you a text version, when you're on the operating system, you can get that one, but I said, well, the student is not gonna just install Linux operating system and then in order to read manual pages and text. So I said, okay, let me pay for the storage, let me pay for the network, let me pay for the DNS certificate and make this website available online for them. And then I will just help them find out these kind of technical documentation on a website by clicking of a button. So you went there and you just type in ZSH at this chapter 12 of my URL, and then you clicked on the type in ZSH, this PDF got generated. Now you find out that this is 5 pages, it's not enough. But notice that everywhere there's a HTTPS, as availability of URLs that are there. This is part of the technical documentation. So when I wrote the PDF version, I said, okay, I'm going to make it robust enough that when they go to a URL, this is clickable. Notice that when you point to any of the URL, it is showing as a clickable. So how do you know what is the URL? If the documentation is 500 pages, like GCC, you're not gonna see where the documentation they have URL. So the way you do it is if you're on desktop, you do Control F on any of this URL search, Control F, and then this thing comes in as a search. Control F is like a find thing. And if you're on a device like iPhone, you could just go on the search for and then look for the find also by clicking on share, then say find on this page, and then you type in HTTPS. Once you type in on HTTPS, it shows that there's one of 8. That means that you have 8 URLs that has hypertext transfer protocol secure this. One of them is zsh.org/pub. So if I click on say, okay, open this one, I can click on it. If I go next, it's gonna say sources-forge.net. So that is another URL for it. That is the project ZSH is explained. And then the same thing is zsh.sourceforge.io. So all of these URLs are available. You can see here. Let's say you say, let me go to the zsh.org frequently asked question, and then you click on it, and it's going to opening it for you. zsh.org ask question, and then for every question that you ask, they explain in an HTML here, right? But you say, well, Wahid, this is all HTML. My PDF version was PDF, right? So then you could say, go back here and then do Control F and type in HTTPS, and then go to this page or this page. It doesn't matter, FTP side is there. So notice this one is /pub, and then a lot of the ZSH sources that you can download the docs on your local machine. You can get the whole thing on your machine and you could read it, but you don't need to do that one. Just remove this /pub here, and now you have welcome to ZSH. And then notice that here you have a lot of different technical documentation for United States, for Finland, from Netherlands, and for Poland, and so on. So I'm on the United States, I click in here, and then I say, okay, documentation. There's manual documentation, user-friendly, a user's guide, and reference. So I'm gonna click on the manual documentation, and notice here on the HTML and PDF, there's so much on it, right? So I'm going to say, open up the PDF version for US, okay? So right here, the second one, a PDF, United States letter size. Now this is 551 pages. So imagine by a few buttons you click on, right now I explain so you understand what I'm showing you, how to search for these documentation. But if you're familiar, it is just 3-4 buttons that you click on, and all of a sudden you get a 551 pages. You haven't moved from your desk or where you're using your cell phone, and you just have access to that many files and availability there. So let's just do this. At this documentation that are there, I'm going to show you more. So this is the PDF version of it. If you just say, well, I like to read the HTML version, yes, the HTML version is also there. You see this HTML version? And then right here, you can see all of them are in the HTML version. So you can just click on one of the commands and you just read that list there. And then, so this one was an example of ZSH command from my book, right? If you type in here, say, what about Python? Can I get documentation on Python itself? Yes, you do. So you click in here and then you press enter, and then I just generate you Python. Notice whatever you type in on the Python search here, the search, that puts it in the query string, because I say this is dynamic. So whatever the user type in, which is you type in and you submit it, and then I just generated that version of PDF version of that command that you search. And now I could show you the Python this. Again, this is 7 pages in a PDF format, because on the Linux manual pages, this is in a text format. If I just log into a Linux machine, I have to do man and then Python, but that all it is a text one. So what is the difficulty for a student? They don't have a Linux Docker or a Linux virtual machine or the Linux Amazon Web Services running everywhere they go. But they have their cell phone, they have their desktop, everywhere they are, they can use their cell phone. All they need is a browser and an internet access, and they type in python.pdf, and now you have everything available here. Again, you control F here and type in HTTPS. So notice that this time is 2 of 6. So python.org is there, python.psf, and then docs.python, and then, so if I go to the python.org, inside the python.org, these CNAMEs, docs.python.org, all of them are available. Dev guides, python.org, and so let's say I'm going to go to pypy.org, and this is the pypy.org here. So some of these ones are very, very cool documentation. You can click on docs and then you see thousands of technical documentation. So if you're a Python developers and Python developer, and then you just don't have resources to read it, just come in my website, search for Python, open up this PDF file, click on docs.python.org. Now I'm taking you to python.org. 3.14, the latest version, or earlier. You can go to libraries, you can go anywhere. So let's say you click on tutorials, you want to learn, basically it's there. And you say, okay, how do I generate a list? Here's a square list. This is how you write it, and then this is how you use it, and now the structure of a list is defined here. So there's a lot of stuff here that a for statement, how you do it, and okay, you create these 3 command cat windows and the defense strat. So those are string, and then basically these are words, and for W and words printed, and print the length of it. And then each word is giving you. How simple is that to learn in a click of a button, right? So I have videos for you. You could learn it through that one. And then Python how to see, you could see there. So when I said millions of documentation for each one of them, yes, I mean millions of documentation, technical documentation for each one of them, right? So if you want the math libraries, then you could just see all the functions that are there, ceilings, FABs, absolute value for X, and then floor function, math libraries, random, and this and that. All of that one are there. Math.py and so on. And so let me just show you more documentation for this one, saying that how useful this program that I wrote in called man to PDF. If you just say, Wahid, can I do this one for Go language? Go-build is one of the commands that you could type in that has the URL. Sometimes you don't need to know the commands. It is just, it's very famous. That command like Python or Java and other ones, they have the documentation. But if you type in go-fmt, it might not have the HTTPS. So what you could do is search for one of them, and now you see that it takes you to golang.org. So this one, now I'm on Go language website. Imagine for a few buttons, now the entire thousands of millions of technical documentation on the internet for go.dev is available. And as you know, Google wrote Go, and one of the co-founder of Unix AT&T version was Ken Thompson, that worked with Dennis Ritchie back in 1969 on the Bell Laboratory of Bell Lab of AT&T, and then they wrote the Unix version, and now he became a co-founder of Go language also. He is actually working for Go language as a co-founder. So this is a lot of technical documentation. If you go on the docs here and then say, okay, get to the user manuals there. Notice all these lists are already there, some of them. So if you click on the user manual, how to install it, how to do it, and the whole internet is at your fingertips. I'm not gonna just open each one of them, but if you just say, how do I install it here? This is there. And if you say go version, and it will tell you the version after you install it. If you say get started with the Go language, there's tutorials that teach you how to write CD to the directory, go to this one on the Linux or Windows machine. This is Windows percentage home path is Windows structure, so you could do it on the Linux as well, the same thing. Make directory, CD to home, go mod init. Once you create it, and then write the package name and port format. This is another package that is there. So if I say go dash format, then I could see the syntax of that as well. And then format printf statement there. So if we go back on my website, notice the difference here. So in here, if I just type in go dash build, then I found out HTTPS. But if you say go dash FMT, then this is just FMT package name. It does not have a URL. So sometimes when you don't have a URL, my website is still very useful because you could say, okay, I'm looking at this Go format itself, and it's only one page long, and then says, what does Go format do? It tells you it's a package source. And then you saw that usage already output here. But at the same time, read the see also section for manual pages, go dash vex and fix and go dash vet. Each one of these ones could be another package fixing the package. For example, go dash fix most likely is going to fix the package by giving the package name as source. You just run the go dash fix and it will just do that one. Let's see if that's the case. Go dash fix update package to use new API. The application program interface that are coming, notice go dash fix, the argument is optional, but it is a package name. So if you just say go dash fix and then it just provide it, and then the same thing with go vet. So right here, you have option, like if I say Node for Node.js stuff, and then I could just generate you a PDF version right away, which is a few seconds to 5 seconds to 10 seconds, depending on how big it's there. Node.js, and right here is the whole documentation here. Imagine how cool it is. 10 pages, do a Control F, HTTPS, search for it. Now, see github.com. If I want to go to node.js.org, I click on this button, and then now I'm on node.js.org. And if I just want to get download the software, this is how you download the software. And then they provide you Docker pull, Docker run, and Docker. After that one, you say run node-version. It will show you the latest version that you have downloaded. And at the same time, if you want to get the documentation, it is so much here available. So like, for example, I was showing you on some videos, let's say the OS module, right? So this is the OS module, and then OS module has all these functions, method, CPUs, architecture, hostname, and so on, type, home directory. So if you just open a terminal, you are on this page and say os.hostname, it is going to just give you the host name and say, I want to practice this one. How do you practice it? Just open a terminal. Whether you're on Bash or Linux, doesn't matter. You just come in on the clear screen, say host name here, and says that there. So this is operating system information. But if I just say, go to Node, and then now I'm inside Node, version 22.13, which means I can upgrade my system, but I don't need to. I could just say, okay, let's go os.hostname and host and name, and that is a function, so you put it as a parameter, and the same algorithm that comes out here, you get it there. So os.user info, you could get it at all the host name and user information. And if you're a PowerShell user, you could get that one from the system also. Like os.cpus, you can see all the CPU information here. So if I say I'm done with this one, let me just get it from PowerShell command. I just did here a host name. If I want to get the version of PowerShell, get host is the command. If I want to say, let's say node dash version, I will say that command. Every command that you type in, like CPU information, system info, and then you say, give me the OS name. What is the operating system name and what version I'm running? And then it tells you Microsoft version 11 Pro version. So these command line utilities, like if I say, give me the model, which is the processor speed of CPU and everything, you could get that one. Mini Intel 64, and then it is 3.4 gigahertz speed. So there's a lot here. I'm going to exit out of this one. I just showed you a few of the node stuff, but that is a documentation for this, which is very useful. You don't need to buy a book. And then you say, Wahid, this is still, I need more. Okay, so let's say you want Java. Just type in Java here. Remember, I said master class. That means I'm just generating you whatever I have already made videos and those resources. Plus, if you want to get to the master level, you need to read these manual pages and technical documentation everywhere you find it. So that is gonna just make you another AI person. And that your job will never be replaced by AI. You're going to be a DevOps that could code faster than AI, and you could just use AI to help you out, and then you will be double the speed of AI because you already have the expert system, the subject matter expert knowledge, and you are working on big data and you're writing automation, and then now you generate one program like I did this man to PDF. Now I could generate more than hundreds of thousands of PDF files on the fly. If I just say more than 100 of PDF, let me just show you as an example. I just went here. So java.pdf, now I search for HTTPS. And then here you see openjdk.org. So if I go to openjdk.org, all the technical documentation here, java.sun.com, all of those URLs are there. So then you could say, okay, I want whichever one here you want. If you want it from GitHub, or maybe installing it, and so on. All of the version information, JDK stuff that you are using it, let's just click on the installing it. You can see that tar this one, unzip it, and then sudo apt-get. This is on Ubuntu. So you're just running the Java runtime environment, JDK version 8, and then yum install on the Red Hat, and then and instead of YAM, you could also use DNF. I have already showed you those videos. And this is installing it on JDK7, Debian, Ubuntu distribution for Oracle, Linux, or OVM. And this is how you install it. OVM is because it's Oracle OVM is Red Hat. So you could use YAM or DNF. It's just how to install it. JDK6 version. So for all of them, they have option to do it. But then you have to use it also, right? So then you could say, okay, go to technical documentation to just show me more on the Java documentation. So if you search for here, Control F HTTPS, and then say, not this one, we already looked at that one, docs.oracle.com. Some of these links, because they're inside this manual pages for years, they might just be outdated. So if you click on this one and the page not found comes in, like this one, you see that one, compiler, but this is on the docs.oracle.com. So they didn't update this page. What you could do is just remove this entry here and just go up to version 12, Java Standard Edition 12, and now you have the entire technical documentation here. And so everything that you want to see about the language, you could see there. Tool references, Java shells, and so on, right? The jar, if you want to use jar, and then let me see if there's anything. Installation guide is going to point you to how to install it again. But then on top of it, you could see more for Linux and Windows and Mac. All of them are there. And then once you install it, obviously you could use it. Here you could also say, take me to this page, Java, and then you could see there's more Java standard version and more documentation, technical documentation, standard edition. You can go here and then just read more. And then modules, HTTP, core libraries. So Java language updates and then the core libraries. You could see that all the libraries that are getting installed for Java standard edition, you could just read them. But at the same time, you say, well, this is good. Let me just go to my channel, and then I'm going to search for something other than Java. So let's search for GCC, for GNU C collection compiler. So some PDF were 5 pages or 10 pages or 1 page, depending on what you search for. But there are some pages like GCC that's 500 or 390 pages long. So I do generate them, and then depending on your internet access, if you're at Ethernet connectivity, it is much faster. It's a few seconds. But if you're on a wireless connection, and it is speed is being shared with all these other interface, it may just take like 5 to 20 seconds or longer. So and just stay with it. It will just generate you. Now I am searching for GCC. I'm going to get a GCC version of this one instead of Java, and this will replace to gcc.pdf. Let's see if it is fast enough that I could stay with it or just move out and show you some more. I think, yeah, it just did it. So it took like 30 seconds or something. So now gcc.pdf is there. But notice that gcc.pdf, because I had to generate that one on the fly, because you type in Java, you type in GCC, you type in Go format. My program just read the input like ChatGPT or OpenAI reads the chat information. So we're conversationing on the web through this one. The program is fast enough on the Linux server, but the network is the bottleneck, right? If your network is fast, my program just right away respond to you. Now notice this is 399 pages. So this is for statement, while statement, how you compile in debug mode, C++ code, everything is there. On top of it, if you just say, okay, GCC is for C compilation, and J++ is for C++ compilation. And each one of them, you just run it differently. When the -O is for output file, and then -G for debug mode. So you could do it. Now I type in HTTPS here. Notice that gcc.gnu.org is one of them. So if I want to go to the gnu.org website, you click on this one. It takes me to the GNU and C90, C99 supporting GCC. All of them are there, right? So then if I say, okay, just let me go back to this one and Control F, again, search for HTTPS, and I'm looking for OpenACC, for example, right here, openacc.org. So look at this one, openacc.org. So if you're on a supercomputing environment like Gattaca, at JPL, we are using JPL, we are using Gattaca for supercomputing, and also TAC, which is Texas Advanced Computing Center. That one also we're using Lone Star and Frontier. The programming languages that you use, whether you use C or C++, for parallel computing on high performance computing, you need some kind of support for the software. Like OpenACC has this pragma for the compiler to say that add this pragma on the kernel, and then go to this for statement with parallel computing and take the GPU and CPU resources. So this program, instead of taking 5 days, or takes 5 minutes, or take 5 seconds, depending how big it is on your supercomputing, the resources of hardware, parallel processing, and sharing the nodes and everything, compute node and data node, all the storage where it is, so how you access it. these languages, they have software code. Whether you write TensorFlow or you write it in C or C++ or NumPy and Python, then the code is optimized for running on top of GPUs and CPUs that are running on high performance computing platforms in parallel. So this is one of the page. So if I go back here, say that's great, OpenACC. What else are there? And let's say there's OpenMP or OpenMPI or other ones. We could search for it and say Control F, HTTPS, and then slash. And then right here you can see all the pages, but there are 60 of them, right? OpenCC.org. And then you could just keep searching. The one like CWE, this is good, also documentation. If you click on it, it takes you to this page, and then all of the community knowledge is there. Let me just go to the same one and search for more to see if I was looking for something else, which was HTTPS with OpenMP or OpenMPI. So let's see, this is CW, a lot of them, GNU, C collection compiler, and GCC, GNU.org, CWE.metro, MITRE, CWE. Okay, so if you're looking for open, you might be just saying, okay, let's start with open. Here you could put 2 slashes open. If you get lucky, it will find it, but it's not anything. So I'm going to type in the open here and then say, okay, there's really 5 of them. So I'm going to say OpenMP and then say that, okay, OpenMP is right here, and then OpenMP. There's, let's see, OpenMP is there, but whether there's a, oh yeah, openmp.org right here. So there's openmp.org, and then it takes you to openmp.org. So if the technical documentation that you're looking for is available, obviously, there's community version here, blog and resources, what you want to see, and then news, event, home. Imagine how much it is. You don't have to. Supercomputing 2025, OpenMP release. A lot of these events that a lot of big companies are happening. If you want to learn OpenMP, you could click on here. Discussion, compilers, and tools. This is cool stuff under the compiler, the tools, whether the Intel version, C++, Fortran, for all the languages, available on Linux, available on Windows, all of them are there. The GCC, C++, Fortran, the GNU version, the Fujitsu version, all of those ones are based on the different platform, right? So imagine that Microsoft version of it, LLVM version, LLVM. My God, this is a lot. So you could be all your life spending your time to just reference them, and then there's still a leftover that you will not be done. But the nice thing is that you concentrate on what you need to learn on one programming language or 5 programming language where your DevOps kind of work is, and then at the same time, you don't need to memorize all of them. Like we did all of them through the hard way, through years of college courses, years of development. You just go and learn something, and then you come on my website, you get all the technical documentation at your fingertips at the moment that you need it. So what does that mean? If you just are getting this kind of documentation, what else is on my website that I could give you? So I showed you some of these ones. The limit is like if you need Perl, for example, you could just type in Perl here, and I could generate you the Perl documentation. The information that I'm giving you here, you could just do it forever, right? Here, a Perl documentation, Control F, and then say HTTPS, and now you're on Perl.org. I take you to Perl.org documentation and just read it. So you don't need to buy books. Everything just come on my website. Millions of other technical documentation, you can find it. And just at your fingertips. It is just as easy as that. You don't need to go to a library. You don't need to move anywhere. Just sit wherever you feel comfortable, start there. So let's do Ruby. You click on Ruby here, type in Ruby here on my program, man to PDF. This is a Python program. And then I'm reading the argument from this one, query it, now you change it Ruby, I generate you a ruby.pdf file. This is 7-page long. You do Control F, HTTPS. You read it. If you just say, okay, I don't need more, and then you get this. GitHub.com, I just took you there. And then HTTPS, I want to get to ruby-lang. So you just say, go to ruby-language.org, and then it's right here. The whole Ruby syntax is here. When you want to say, I love Ruby, and then put say, then it's going to say that. So the command line is very similar to every other languages. Once you learn it in one, the rest of them is just a piece of cake. And then sometimes you are learning the syntax and semantic, and the algorithm, you write it. Even writing algorithm is nowadays is so easy. You could just do it with functions and reusable code and modules and everything, object-oriented and programming, and makes your life much, much, much smoother there. And then you can see here the documentation on Ruby. So what else? On this one, I told you that in addition to chapter 12, which is like here, if I go to chapter 12, I know the direct path to Linux Ubuntu, this book that I gave you here, I told you that I wrote the entire chapter 2 for basic of Linux, chapter 3 intermediate, and chapter 4 advanced, and chapter 5 Unix and Linux. So let me show you the basic of Linux. For example, some commands that you can practice, how I made it available for you to learn these commands online. So for each chapter, for example, this chapter, I teach you the basic of Unix and Linux command. The reason I said Unix, because these commands, whether you're on a Unix Mac BSD version or Solaris Solaris or or Sun OS or on any other HP UX or anything, or a Linux machine like Fedora or Ubuntu distribution, these commands are all the same. Okay, so they are coming with mostly on the basic of a Linux command. There are 33 commands, but notice for each command, I give you a what is section, a manual pages, and examples. So for example, if you learn the calendar command, you type in cal, click on cal, I take you to this page on my website, meaning that I'm going to provide you a list of commands that you can practice. I tell you what is the calendar do, display a calendar, and I give you manual pages and HTML version for it. So when you click on the manual pages, then my website is going to generate the man for the calendar and provide you this interface, a very nice interface that it says that you click on cal and here's the output for it. If you say, well, this is great, can I just do the same thing for PDF, PWD, and then just do it? Yes. Any command that you know on Linux, you are here. I give you some examples here. You could type in it, and I generate you for it there. So let me just go back to this other page. And that show you the actual on the browser. So if you're learning Linux chapter 2, the basic, you come on my website, go to chapter 2. Now I give you a list of 5 commands. And what does that mean? That you click on cal as if you're sitting in front of a Linux machine. You click on cal at the $ prompt, and I give you the output of the calendar for the current month on your browser. So the command runs on my Linux machine. That's why I'm saying that I'm paying for all of these services to help you out. In order for you to support, show your support back, I think you could join on my channel or subscribe to channel, watch our videos, share it with your loved ones. If you cannot join because it is just $2 still costly for you per month, please don't do that. Just watch the videos, learn it, do whatever you want, and I will do my best to continue providing you guys this information. My objective was not to make money off this, but my main objective was to help people that they could not afford go to college and paying expensive tuitions for these kind of courses. So if you're learning it, please share it with your loved ones and learn it and get your job. And then when you can afford it, help me out with some kind of membership and there if you want to join. If you still don't feel like, don't do that, please. Okay, so let me just go back to chapter 2. If you go chapter 2 and you click on the calendar command here, and then you say, okay, how about calendar 9070? Now I give you the entire calendar 9070 here. So whatever you type in here, if you just even go here and you know the query string is say calendar 1 plus 9070, the space is plus, and then here I'm going to say, give me the January of 9070 here. That is there. If I just say change this one to uname plus A, then I say, okay, run the dash plus dash A means that that's the right command. So this is the command, and here's the output here. If you say, give me the command ls plus dash L, is going to just show you the list of the files. So if you say, well, you're telling me you run this command dynamically, yes, it does. So if you type in date command here, notice the date command, it gives you the output here that are 11:52:06. If I just say this one again, run this one again, the 06 in seconds changed, right? Now it's 11:52:18. Every time you click on it dynamically, I generate you the new timestamp of the date. So the programs are running dynamically. Also, I'm blocking hackers for running codes on my site that I'm not allowing it. But at the same time, for each of these rows, I have these videos online here that are just doing the same thing. So why did I make these courses online and all of that one? God bless my brother, Dr. Wahidullah Lutfy. He was a cardiologist at Kaiser permanently for more than 50 years. He was a great inspiration for all of us, including my family and my relatives, my friends, country fellows, and Americans, people that he touched base. They know how great of noble person he was. And back in 2021, unfortunately, my brother passed away, and he is back in heaven. God bless him, and he was the inspiration of my life. He made so much change in my life. I'm dedicating this book for him, and I hope you also find out how you could help other peoples. By him helping me now, I'm helping others, and I'm sure you guys will do the same thing. So if you watch these videos, you can learn from it. At the same time, I told you that Linux manual pages and PDF, and I have Linux and Windows technical documentation in PDF. So imagine on each of these chapter, I have different books. Just on this page, all PDF, about 66,000 PDF technical documentation on Linux Red Hat, on Linux Rocky, on Linux Ubuntu, on Windows 11 PowerShell, and Windows 11 Help. So let's say you're looking for Red Hat, you click on here, and then on Red Hat, you have about 12,000 technical documentation here. If you just say, give me like a Python documentation here and there. If you just say, give me the mount command, and then you just search for mount, and then notice that there's so many of them. One of them is the actual mount command mount.8. This is this .8 because section 8 is system administrative level, and then mount is also in section 2. So you could get all the command on this PDF file. At the same time, if you just say, well, what about PWDX, print working directory executable? That's the command there. So, and this is similar to PWD, but for the process. So you can check out the process or pgrep and other stuff, pwait, pkill. There's a lot of commands similar to that one. So this is for Red Hat. And if you say, how about the Rocky? Can you get that one, Rocky? Notice for each of these PDF files that I generate, there's 11,000 on Rocky. On each one of them I just gave for each page that you look for example, let's say on Rocky, I'm looking for a command, Control F, let's say, I'm going to say system CTL. System CTL and system CTL is on Ubuntu, on Rocky and everything, because system system 7 was introduced. Now notice I gave you MyWebUniversity credit for Python programming, for Linux manual pages that I generated from, and then a PDF library of Python. So I wrote and I generated this one for you. Now you have this, and it's 50 pages long. So with all the examples, everything is here. You can just say systemctl start Apache, systemctl restart SSHD, systemctl start firewall D, anything that you want to do, these commands are here, and do the show and cat and everything on the services. So I'm going to go to this one, and then let's go to the technical documentation on Ubuntu. On the technical documentation on Ubuntu, you already saw the dynamic generation, but here's also static documentation as of the day that I generated. So if you don't know the command, you could get a list of them here, and you could click on the reboot, for example, and you get the documentation for reboot. Click on the shutdown, you get the documentation for shutdown. So the whole thing is a PDF version, not like a text. You don't have to be logging in onto a Linux machine. You don't have to install them. It's all on your browser. And then the same thing for PowerShell. PowerShell, there's about 5,700 technical documentation. So here you say, search for get-services. So if you want to see all the services on your system, there you just read this PDF documentation, and all the examples are here. Then you open a terminal here on the command line and just say get-service. Here, all the services are there. And then if you say get-help or get-service, I will give you the help on the get service. You say get-example, you get all the examples running all the services, and then get service sort object by status, and with the status whether it's running or doing it. These are used with piping. So and then you could say get-service, and then sort object by status, and then you can see they're all sorted by status, whether it's running or stopped. So how easy it is just to practice this. If you say get-help, get-service, detail, you could get detail of it. Clear screen and say get-online, open it online documentation. This is going to take you to Microsoft website, and the whole technical documentation is there. So you don't need to buy a book anymore. It's just there for you. You just have to know how to get those resources when you need to. And then on the command line, you could say, for example, get-command and get-service. What is get-service? You can see get-service is a commandlet and is a part of the Microsoft PowerShell management. But if you just say get-service and then dash syntax, and then it gives you a syntax like of how you could pass on this one. Or say get dash command get dash process. So if you say get dash process, what is the process? It says it's part of Microsoft PowerShell management. But if you say get dash command itself, that is part of the sources, the core sources. You can see Microsoft.PowerShell.core. So when you do get dash command itself, it's giving you all the commands that are there. How many commands are in PowerShell, you could get a list of them. If you say measure dash object, and then you count them, it says 8,070 commands there. Or you could say get dash command dash noun, and then the noun, you could say, for example, noun, and then local user, for example. How many commands are used with local user dash noun? Or you could say get dash command dash verb and then say get. How many command has the get? And then you can just do a measure on it. Measure is the alias for it. So you could do that one and then you just get that. If you say get alias, you get all the aliases. Get dash process, you could say, okay, that's the list of process. If I say start dash process, and start dash process Notepad++. Now I just started Notepad++ here. And then I'm just going to say, okay, this one is staying here, but let me just revise this window here and have this one a little bit up here, and then here, this one. So now notice that the get dash process basically is running on the system, start dash process. But now if I just say alias PS, then it says when I type in shortcut PS, it is running the get dash process. So I can say it's PS, and then where name is, I could just type in, I don't want to kill it at this time. I want to just show you a list of them. And then I could say where process name equal Notepad++. Let's see if that return. But because I might have a different name, it did not show up process name with equal. So now you have dash like argument, and you could say star with any wildcard. Notepad is the string that I'm looking for. Okay, the like I mistype it with I, so you have to put the I. Now it's gonna find it, and it did not find it. So let's see where in process dot name. I'm gonna short it with dot name. Dot name is not there. So let's see what is, how do I find out that name there? I could say process pipe more, and then look at these names here. And then it has process name. So if it has a Notepad++ or Note something, what I could do is with the like, I'm just gonna write Note. See if that would find it there. So if it doesn't find it, we find it another way. Oh, I missed that's why. The Notepad should have found it, because I missed it. The other command that I had done, I had a typo here, Note. I meant Notepad++, I typed it Note only. So now notice the name, process name is Notepad++. So if I say dash equal Notepad++, and then I just say Notepad++, that also should find it, because earlier that typo was on Node also there. Otherwise, this equal is going to find it, say process name is Node. And if I just change that to process name, because that tab is process name, it is also going to find it, because that is going to match the tab with process name, whether you type it for short name or that. And now let's look at it by ID, right? So if I say search it by ID, $_ is like $PS item. The short one is $_ that is going to point to the current list of this one, which is piped to the where clause. The where dash object is similar. Where is the alias for that one? So I'm going to say where ID and dash equal dot ID and dash equal 21,564. So then you search it and it's gonna find it. The same thing. Now, if I just say, go ahead, stop dash process, I could say that stop dash process, or just that's a commandlet, or just kill, which is the alias for it. It killed it. Now, if I say alias kill command, you can see kill is the same as start dash process. So if I say start, this time I'm going to say start alias start is also pointing to the same one as the start dash process. If I say change directory to this, I don't have to be on that directory that I want. I could say start notepad plus. And then now notepad plus comes in, and then right here is the process that is up and running. Now, if I just say PS and then grep for this process that earlier I did is now changed for. So if I say PS and notepad plus, I don't need to do a where clause. Automatic, it knows the process name. I could also say PS dash name, saying that the same thing. So it's gonna do that one. This time I'm going to say, go ahead and do a stop dash process. And then I say stop dash process, and it will kill it. So imagine how simple it is. Now on my website, if you just come in on this one, on the website here, and say on the PDF files, let's go to the PDF files, which is on the direct path to Linux Ubuntu. You can click on any of these chapter 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go to 3 first before I show you this. So now if you say, what is some of the commands that you're showing me here? If I want to learn the change mode, this one is security, change group, change mode, and password, and other ones. So when you click on these ones, I'm not going to allow you to run the command to change the file permissions or give ownership to user or groups. So in that case, I wrote you the entire documentation to help you out. So you just could read it like a book. And I explain all the octet numbers, the permissions, and the UMask, everything, a very nice format. You could read it and then just say, okay, for man change mode, you could get also the manual version of it there. And if you say, this is change mode for the technical documentation, do you have a PDF version? Yes, I do. This is HTML here. Just go here and click on this one, and then click on the direct path to Linux Ubuntu, and just search on any of these commands, chapter 8, 9, 12, or just go to dynamic generation on this one and type in change mode, and I just generate you for a specific command that you're searching for. So let me just show you how to do that one. Right here, obviously those other static page are there. So you type in change mode, and then I just generate you the change mode technical documentation. But if you decided to say, while this one is running, let me get the PDF version from MyWebUniversity right here, and then click on the direct path to Linux Ubuntu, go to chapter 3 or chapter 4, doesn't matter. So chapter 4 is advanced commands that you can practice more than 88 commands, and each one of them, you could click on the process stream 3, and I'll show you the process stream 3 output for system D, which is process ID 1. You could get this one, and then thousands of documentation available with it, and all the processes that are running is there. PS3 1 was your command. Here's the output with system D, and a 3 is structure like output. And then obviously you can get manual pages for it on the HTML, as well as like here you could see the PDF version for change mode I generated for you, and then the PDF file is here. So, and then this one also have GNU.org core utilities and other ones. So if you click on this one, then you are on GNU.org with more technical documentation for everything that you need. Under docs, you can go on there and then just, if you want to donate to them, and then you're welcome to contribute and join and everything with open source community. So the GNU manual pages is there. Whether you want GCC compiler or everything, all the technical documentation, utilities that GNU wrote, the documentation is GNU.org manual.html. And then I have the PDF version for you also for a lot of these commands that I just showed you, the change mode. If you say, how about the change group? Change group, yes. And I just generate you the PDF file, and then if there's technical documentation for them, you're welcome to just read the PDF version, as well as a PDF version, as well as if there's any URL mentioned. Right here is translation project in GNU.org. So these URLs are very useful also. Core utilities, earlier we did the change group. You could do, or just go to translation.org, see what the other technical documentation are there. So when I say the entire internet is at your fingertips, it is. You just are browsing. All you need is at your own pace. All you need is the passion and desire to learn, and you're welcome to start learning everything that you want. So coming back to chapter 12, for example, on chapter 12, you can see I have a lot of technical documentation. If you're a system administrator, for each of these rows, I have made a video for you. And that is 2 hours long, an hour and a half long. Like this one is the last row, row 8 of 8. And then that would be starting for G core, GNU core, RPM, PKEL, LSOF, list of open files, expression, screen in Tmax. Tmax actually enhanced version of a screen. If you're using NoHap or screen, and then use Tmax. Tmax is really good. I have a video for you on my YouTube channel explaining that one. ELF executable link format, DC dump, ID, assembly, make, LD, and all of those ones are tools that I have covered on that one. I have actually built Apache web server from open source, and then I have videos on that one also, on chapter 6 maybe. And then on chapter 5, there's a lot of technical documentation. So if you click on any of these one, user mode or user group or user add, this is commands that I don't want people to create accounts on my server. So I just show them command lines, syntax, how to do them there, example by example. And then at the same time, if you're just learning more, and there's on chapter 5, I will show you chapter 5. I have written some bash scripting and C shell scripting that you could just look at the source code. You could just copy it for your class and practice them online and then read them. And then at the same time, you could just look at it here. And then some of the commands that I want to show you, you could also type in. So if I say, show me pwd command and the output of it, you type in pwd and I give you the output here. So you could basically practice online here. Now notice this time I type in uname -a, and the query string changed to uname +-a. That space is a plus symbol. So now I'm teaching you query string as well as Linux here. So if I do ls-l, you can see some of the basic command you could do, but at the same time you could say, show me the PS3 one on process ID 1, then I will show you the system D like I showed you earlier. And if you say, give me the df-h output, you just type in df-h and I give you the command. And then say, give me the calendar command. Any command you type in, say, give me the calendar of 2/90/98, and then you will see the February 1998 calendar right here. If you say, show me the calendar 1/90/31, then you will see the calendar there. And then show me the calendar for let's say 6/2001, then June of 2001. So any of your loved ones and other ones, if you say, I want to know what date of birth the person was, you could just type in that date and then look at the date that they were born, and then say, oh, you were born on Tuesday or Thursday or Friday or Saturday, based on that one. So right here, you could also type in any command that you know on Linux. If at the same time you say rm-rf/star.cgi and then /star.text, something like that. If you try that one, I'm not going to allow you to do it. It says this command is not allowed. So if you just type in like rm-rf, something like this, and then a star, any name matching, I just tell you what you type in. My program is smart enough to detect what the users want to do. If you say touch this file, I'm not going to allow to create that file. Touch this is not going to do. Touch Wahid something or whatever name you type in, anything. I just read the string and then I say, this is what you type in. SQL injection is not there. So the other thing with security on my website, in order to maintain it, let's say you know Linux, you say rm-rf and then just say slash, go to the root and then delete everything. Then I'm going to say, no, you're not going to run these commands. I say, okay, I'm going to generate a program, I write it on the temp and say echo rm-rf and then slash and then a greater sign and then run it on temp as t.sh and then put a semicolon here and say bash minus, burn shell -x and then /temp/t.sh. So if you know Linux and you say, oh, and then I'm going to do a list -l afterward to see if I deleted the current directory and everything on it. Notice this was your command here. And I parsed it and I say, no, this is not authorized to run. You're not allowed to do it. But if you type in a valid name, like let's say you type in some command like, let me just type in df-h, -f extended for file system, you could see that the command is valid and that it's going to run there. You say cat -70cos-release. The commands that are not bothering me, I'm going to allow it. Cat -70cos-release. If the file is not found or the name is mismatched, I mistyped it. That's why I get that error. So and here, this is the system release file, and then it's Ubuntu, and its release version is there. All of that information are there on chapter 5, shell scripting. You can practice them and so on. And so let's go back to the actual, I showed you a lot of stuff on these ones. So also on the videos, I have the English version that you can learn all these ones I told you. And you can go to the playlist, and then on the playlist, you can see I have Best of 2023, Oracle VirtualBox, Oracle Solaris. These playlists show you a lot of videos in there. Windows operating system, virtualization, VirtualBox, the direct path to Python programming, the direct path to MySQL database, the direct path to shell scripting, Bash, ZSH, and other ones, the direct path to Linux, Ubuntu, CentOS, Mint, and Rocky, and C++, Visual Studio Code programming languages. So all of these videos are also available for you. At the same time, if you say, okay, that's great, on this one. Do you have more videos? Yes, if you're Persian from Afghanistan or Iran or Tajikistan, I have videos in Dari for C, which I teach for my country fellows, and then that is very good videos as well. And then some of them are in Dari, some of them are in the other channels in English. So let me just introduce you to one more items that it just brought me into my attention here. So if you go on MyWebUniversity.com, you could see the core developers of this website, and then the core contributor currently is my brother Hamid. He's a software engineer, and myself. So if you contact at my web university, there's a number of other people are working with us, helping us on the background, but we're the main people here. Hamid Lutfy is a co-founder and co-owner of my web university. He's also a director of IT director and also chief executive officer. Myself is also a founder and owner, IT director and chief technology officer. So if you need to know more about each one of us, let me just go to introduce myself first. This is me, Wahid Lutfy. And basically, I'm the founder, owner, IT director, chief executive officer, and I have both my bachelor and master of science in computer science. And I work currently at a Jet Propulsion Laboratory, NASA. For the past 23 years, I have been doing enterprise system analyst and principal and system lead system admin job. But at the same time, I'm here to help you. And how do I do that one? At National University Computer Learning Center, Pasadena City College, I taught all those courses in order to just come up with this mywebuniversity.com. Someday when I built this My Web University, we had, my brother and I, we had this in mind, and that someday everything is going to be online. And this is back in 2000, we were thinking of it. I was working for a web hosting company called HostPro, which was acquired by web.com. Interland.com was the original company. Web.com became the ultimate company based on Atlanta. When 3 years, 2000 to 2003, I was there as a enterprise, as a system admin, senior sysadmin, as well as DBA, because I was doing all their MySQL database. We were given this websites, VirtualBox, not VirtualBox, virtual private net servers, VPS. And then at that time, I built it on Linux platform, and then I had databases, MySQL, and I was doing everything for them. There were 125,000 domains. When the company merged with other ones, I pay for the website myself and hosted myself, and I maintain it, and I wrote all these things to help you out. So at the same time, I'm getting a big help from my brother, engineer Amit Lutfi, software engineer. And then these are our channels, the stuff. So let me go back here and introduce you my co-owner or co-founder of my web university, software engineer Hamid Lutfi. His full name is Hamidullah, and he's my brother. He is also inspiration for my life. He helped me a lot of times, and I grew up with him. I learned a lot from him. He's about 2 years older than me, or a year and a half, but he inspired me in so many ways. I learned a lot from him, and he worked at Apple Inc., and Google, United Healthcare, Kaiser Permanently, Samsung, Earring, and a lot of software and development for CI/CD stuff with programming on the web, programming on the internet, and a lot of Oracle, Pro C, C++, and Java, and Go language, everything you can name it, he worked on it. He's a very senior person, software engineer. That's why Google and Apple and other ones hired him. And also he published a lot of books. And then I'm very, very happy to introduce said to you. His knowledge is in a lot of not just software engineering. It's a lot of writing books and automations for Linux environment for Windows, at the same time writing these history books for Afghanistan. Look at these ones. There's 9 books in English that he wrote, all of them, and it is published already on Amazon website. So this is all his contribution for Afghanistan history and to the Afghan community and people that they're interested to know about the history of Afghanistan. At the same time, he also wrote more books on Barnes and Noble's books. So he has a total of 14 volumes, books that are published, very prestige books. Some of them are 700 pages or 300 pages. And it's really hard, 36 years of experience with programming as well as writing, and notice that writing in 2 different languages, that's really tough. So he wrote a lot of these books on for C as well as in English, and you can see them. That is Hamid Lutfy, my brother, and we're basically the main contributor of it. And then I'm going to just close this window. I don't need it, and I just go on this one. And this one, I'm going to stay here, and then going back on the channel, I also have the direct path to Linux Ubuntu book, which I told you that there's about 15 chapters. You're welcome to learn from that one and learn Linux Ubuntu online, and then Bash scripting with PowerShell. This is the integration version of PWSH PowerShell, that if you want to learn PowerShell, PWSH is, I have a video for you on my YouTube channel already, that I installed Ubuntu version on PowerShell, and then apt-get update, and that's a package from Microsoft. You install it, and then after that one, use the PWSH to show you how the commands works. And that is a very good video also that you could learn from it. And then there's also Linux Ubuntu, and then also for C and C++, if you're a coder, that I have all the libraries are available for you here. Because sometimes you don't know what is IO stream does or standard IO does. All of those libraries are here. So LD library path, if you define it to be mapping to a library, then you say, well, how about the actual libraries inside my code? If I include the standard IO.h or IO stream.h, IO stream on the C++, then here's the documentation for it. Let's see, C and C++ include header files. So if you control here, control F, say a standard IO.h, and you see that it's a PDF file. This is US standard IO.h, but it's mapping to the other one. So if I go std standard IO.h and then search for one of 6, the one that is there is std IO.h is this one. So you could click on it, and then you get to read all the function calls that the libraries that you could see on def as those ones, and see how C is written on it. At the same time, if you say control F IO stream, sorry, stream IO, let's see, I think it's IO stream, I forgot the name. Yeah, it should be IO stream, input output stream. Yeah, this is I stream, but there's IO stream also. So let me just type in IO stream. Yeah, right there. Input output stream. I stream would be for input stream, and O is for output stream, but IO stream would be covering both of them. And then you could read those external, those modules, everything there. So a lot of good stuff here. At the same time, you say, Wahid, there's knowledge here that I could just read it, and there's knowledge that maybe I could reference it at some point. Yes, so for example, in chapter 4, when I type in for here, like for example, advanced debugger, GCC, core, and then strace, a lot of these ones, there are a lot of details. I use it on daily basis because I have to know the system details of how these function calls are happening on a process. So on Solaris, I was using trace command. On Linux, I use strace, which stands for stream trace. At the same time, I would use ADB for advanced debugger, ADB for advanced debugger, and then right here, and this is the Solaris platform that was provided for debugging core files on the Solaris platform. At the same time, if you're doing a GNU debugger, GDB, sometimes you are looking for GNU debugger, and then that one would be GDB, and GDB is good for reading your source codes on manual pages for GCC or C++ code. And then you compile it with -o option. Now you could debug it, analyze it, and look at it. Some of my videos explain all of this one also. So if you're looking at that one and the core and everything else, like G cores and GNU core, how you core dump process, how you get the system processes. I have made videos on these ones, and then for this one, just watch this video here. TCP dump, G core, all of them are explained on this one, including make and make utilities. So there's a lot of stuff there. Let me go back to the presentation of this one. And then I think I covered enough on the website here. I'm gonna just move forward from here. So this is the direct path to Linux Ubuntu, which is going to take you to my book that we already showed you here. So you're welcome to just read and watch videos and learn it. Eventually, I will publish it on some bookstore, whether it's Amazon or Barnes and Noble or something else. I will publish it, and it will be available for you. But at this time, it's all online for free, and just use it. Let me just go back to this one. So this one, I'm going to go to the next screen. The direct path to Linux Ubuntu is the book, and then welcome and overview. So what I'm going to cover on this video, which I already did, I'm going to tell you some more on the lecture part of it, because I give you the details, so now you know what it is there. At the same time, I want to explain to you what it means to you, so how you could benefit from it. Mastering IT and DevOps Masterclass. In this class, I'm covering so many topics: Linux, Unix, PowerShell, Python, C, C++, Bash scripting, cybersecurity, and then AI, data science, and more, right? So Masterclass purpose: training target computer science students, DevOps, aspirant, and IT pros seeking skill enhancements. So if you're passionate about your career, about something that you want to learn in DevOps, or you're a student that you're kind of passionate about your future, just come in, subscribe to my channel, and then go to MyWebUniversity.com, watch these videos. I have thousands of stuff for you that you could use as a resource, and they're very, very technical. They're not like just beginner. They're not just intermediate. They're not just advanced. They're more than advanced. They're more than expert. They're more than beginners. So if you're just a novice user, just go to the beginner level. If you're just intermediate level, go to intermediate. Once you watch those videos, once you learn those technical documentation, you could use these resources to master it. And by master classes, I mean that you could be learning Python or PowerShell or C or C++ or AI or any data science kind of courses. Just read those technical documentation in PDF. So a structured learning path, course agenda covers Linux, Windows, PowerShell, Bash, Python, programming, infrastructure, IT practices, AI, data science, and more. Learning resources, I encourage you to use my books online, which is the Direct Path to Linux Ubuntu, that has 15 chapters with so much knowledge, and then for continued education and the skills mastery. By reading those technical documentation that are 500 pages or looking at one page long or one line command and practice it on Unix, over time, you will be another Wahid. You will be another Hamid. You will be another DevOps person that working. You will be another programmer. You might help others. So just don't rely on what you know today, what you're going to learn tomorrow, what you're going to learn next week, what you learn next month and 5 years from now, and how you enhance your career over time. Learning never stops for me, and it should not ever stop for anybody. A skill mastery. Community engagement. So basically on this one, once you learn these things, you just need to support others. You need to share it by going to my YouTube channel or other YouTube channels that are very helpful. Try to join them if you can afford it. If you cannot, at least subscribe, at least watch the videos. By supporting them, they know that, okay, the community is also interested on those information. If nobody click on views or watching it, then a person might get discouraged. A lot of people, after a few months or 6 months or a year, some people after 2 days, they stop supporting. The subscription, 1,000 subscription with 4,000 hours on YouTube, that's incredibly hard to make it within the same year. But when people are joining and learning it, it's not that hard. If you share the knowledge, then you are helping your fellow co-workers, family members, and friends. So it's very important to share the knowledge. Linux Windows Essential. On this one, we're talking about basic, intermediate Linux. This one, I covered chapter 2 and chapter 3 already. I covered ls command, cd command, cal command, cat, who is just showing you who is logged on the system, pwd. We covered print working directory and the pwd x for print working directory of executable or process, and then pmap and ps3. All of those commands are a part of the proc file system commands. Advanced Linux commands, so you could see that on chapter 4, for example, I show you the lsof or maybe gunzip or user add, group add, systemctl, and then find command. There's a lot. These videos, I already have it. I explain how to use the find command, how to use the exact command, how to use dnf, how to use yum, apt. All of these, I already have videos when I was teaching you Linux Ubuntu or Red Hat, or on Red Hat, just I have 4.2 hours of video that teaches you everything about Red Hat installation, configuration, basic, intermediate, advanced. Similarly for Ubuntu, similarly for Fedora, similarly for other Windows subsystem like all the Windows subsystem that is Kali Linux and so on, Ubuntu or whatever, Oracle Virtual Machine. Shell configuration automation, this is Bash scripting, it's the SH scripting. Also, you can do with PowerShell and PWSH for integration of it, cross-platform automation and scripting, Linux, Windows, utilities. This is something that you should be like using with integration. It's going to help you compare Linux and Windows command line tools and appreciate. Don't discourage each other. Say, no, I'm a Windows guy. I'm not a Linux guy. I'm a Linux guy. I don't want to do touch click button by Windows. That is nonsense. All it is just their operating system. They all have great features and great tools and great application, great scripting languages like PowerShell. PowerShell is so robust, and so is Bash, so is Python, so is Node.js. If you just use them, you're going to enjoy them. Okay, that's what it is there. And then you could do it for system administration levels, for DevOps and other ones. So sometimes when you do these kind of IT and DevOps master classes, whether you know Linux, Windows, PowerShell, PowerSH, Bash, ZSH, Python, C++, Visual Studio Code, Node.js, technical documentation, Dockers, PDFs, AI generation, and then much more utilities and applications, set off this and that. All of that one, you could do a DevOps and IT as automation on the system by writing scripts. Writing a script, whether it's a PowerShell or a PWSH or Python or C or Bash or ZSH, any of them by automation or C++, any of them, when you do automation, you're going to just have a better system with error prone that you don't make manual typos next time. So PowerShell, Bash, and ZSH and Python scripting is going to just help you that you could do it on Unix shell scripting, running variable declaration, condition, loops, and arguments and functions and so on. And then I have videos on these ones. I have show you the full course on Bash scripting, for example. Similarly for PowerShell automation, and whether you use cmdlets or pipeline or administrative script like stop and start in services and starting processes and killing processes, all of that one is there. Comparing Bash, ZSH, and PowerShell and Python. These are all good programming languages. Python and PowerShell is way above these other levels. These ones are great, Bash and ZSH, but they are limited. For example, in Bash, you cannot run PowerShell commands or certain modules that are there. Bash is not object-based programming language. So it's not similar to like PowerShell that has object-based, so object has method and properties. Bash and ZSH does not support that one. It does function, it does arrays, and you can create your own customized function with them, and then you write code, but it is much harder to do something in Bash than a PowerShell that already has object-based kind of interface, which supports properties and member methods and a lot of other functions. And PWSH is the integration version. And then on top of this, you can run inside Linux all the Linux command that is available on Linux and Bash and ZSH and C Shell. At the same time, you can run all the PowerShell modules and use the object created. Python, on the other hand, is the best. Right? So Python, whether you write some AI kind of code or TensorFlow or regular expression or NumPy or Pandas, or use other modules to do just general purpose programming, graphic programming, anything, Python is functional programming as well as object-oriented programming. So with Python, I have a lot of videos also, and then you could do it from command line, you could do it from IPython, or you could do from Jupyter Lab, you could do it from Notebook. A lot of them are there at Google Colab Research. I made some videos for you that you could learn Python also there. Benefit of automation. Automation basically reduces manual errors. Manual errors, you could have a typo, but when you have it on the automation or writing a script, you can run it once, and then once you have the typo fixed, it will always work. A streamlined workflow and also improve operation efficiency in IT environment. That's very true. Okay, so the next part that I'm going to cover is programming essential. What is on the Complete IT and DevOps Masterclass, the programming essential. Basically, on the programming essential, you're just going to learn about C, C++, Python, functional programming, and object-oriented programming. So object-oriented programming, C++ and Python are both functional programming as well as object-oriented programming, which means it supports for object and classes and members and methods and properties and attributes. But C is just a procedure or functional programming. It does not support object-oriented programming. Yet C++ and Python and everything was written at one point in C. So these are, and this is the mother of all languages, you could call it. Even AT&T version of Solaris and Linux machine originally was written in C. So later on, C++ came in and Python came in and other programming language were introduced because of C. C and C++, Python, Java. Java is a programming language. We showed you some example there. Node.js is for server side of JavaScripting. This is a Node.js, the Node command that I showed you, that you can run JavaScript fundamentals. These are very important to know for DevOps kind of work. C and C++ cover compilation. You should be able to handle how functions are executed and how you can trace them, or how you could compile them, how you debug them. All of that one was part of parameter passing and calling these RPC or remote procedure calls, or just the binaries that are coming if they're a Java class, how you do remote method invocation. All of those ones are part of DevOps kind of activity that you have to know how to run a C program, or how to debug a C program, how to run build a compiler of C++, how to install a particular version of GCC or C++, how to run them inside Docker, how you run it inside a virtual machine. All of that one, header files I showed you, and how memory management happens with memory management with C is different than C++. C++, you're creating classes and structure, and other ones that you're using pointers. And Python, you don't use Python pointers, but they're very clear in just handling memory. For system level programming, there's a lot of details. I have done a lot of system level programming at previous jobs, and 23 years for Jet Proportional Laboratory, and so on Solaris platform, or Linux platform, or Windows platform. A lot of these knowledge, you learn it over time, and you learn it, and then you do trust command at the process to see the detail of these function calls, or strace or preep. All of those commands or their straces, their debugger, core, G-core, all of those ones to analyze the process there. On the top of it, Python, PowerShell, PWC, PWSH, Awk programming language, Python, Go language. All of these ones are tools that you can use for your DevOps kind of activities. Object-oriented paradigm, Python, C++, Java. The paradigm of object-oriented program is, four of them is encapsulation, polymorphisms, inheritance, and abstraction or data hiding. So a lot of those ones you could use it, and then you just are watching my videos, you will learn it on different languages, how I did it. And then watch other videos on other languages you might add to your knowledge. So again, big data, data science, and AI, high performance computing infrastructure is a very hot topic nowadays. Everybody talks about AI, high performance computing, parallel processing, the infrastructure, whether it's Amazon Web Services and infrastructure for platform as a service, software as a service, or infrastructure as a service. All of those ones are available here. So let me just say here what we have: database and data science, Python and R language. So I have a lot of courses similar to Python for R language because R, I like it. We use it at work, and R statistical software programming language. I made a lot of database related data sets to generate on the R programming language. And then at the same time, I did it on Python with so many Python modules. That R language also has a lot of modules and libraries that I show you those videos, so you could see it. And Windows subsystem for Linux, this one with Kali Linux and other ones, Linux, Ubuntu, Linux, Red Hat, Oracle Virtual Machine, all of those ones were available. I did it. I have videos. Virtualization, I did VirtualBox, but at my work, I did a lot of VMware virtualization in OpenShift environment. So with cloud computing, I told you that I have been supporting the cloud environment for Jet Propulsion Laboratory NASA on TAC, which is Texas. University of Texas Advanced Supercomputing Center, and also Gattaca, which is the Gattaca 2 is the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, HPC, High Performance Computing. And then database, this Windows subsystem or virtualization. I've done a lot of things about a lot of work on relational databases, which is Oracle, MySQL, Microsoft Access, and Postgres, and then Informix, but mainly on Oracle and SQL, MySQL. MySQL is my structured query language, or sometimes SQL stands for structured query language or standard query language, because the statements like select, insert, update, delete, all of those ones, they're very much, whether you do it on Oracle or MySQL or Informix, the select statement is the same syntax. So you could call it a structured query language. If you do the same select statement on Microsoft Access, it is the same thing. And so the insert, and then to insert record into the tables, and then create. There are commands that they call it a data definition language that define the table spaces and tables. And there's a command on the relationship database called a data manipulation language. Select, insert, and updates, or data manipulation language. Once you manipulate the data, there are those kind of type. And there's also a data control language, DCL. DCL is data control language, like grant and revoke privilege. So once you commit some transaction, that is the data definition language, and update is happening on the data manipulation. But when you create, define the table or the table space, you're creating it with using data definition language. When you're granting privilege, you're using data control language. When you're manipulating, using select, insert, update, or delete, those are data manipulation language. So every database has a DBMS, which is the core part of the database management system. At the same time, when you create as a DBA, a database, you're defining these table spaces, and then you're creating these table spaces, and you have to have tables with relationship. That's why it's called a relational database. The relationship, or basically primary key, foreign key relationship, and then secondary key, alternate key, and candidate key, all of those are keys that define your tables inside the table space. And then by creating entity relationship diagram on those ones, you're normalizing it with normalized forms of first to fourth and to fifth normal form. You define them back as nowhere form, all of those ones with the relationship. You are creating a relationship one to many, or one to one, or one many to many. All of those ones are a relationship between the tables. So then you have cascaded update, cascaded delete, that modify more than one table. So inheritance. For example, an employee leaves, then you are updating the record for the employee as well as dependent children to see whether they have insurance or whether they should not have it. So all of that informations are getting into the database in a very nice manner, and data management system, DBMS, is the handle it. Windows subsystem for Linux, I talk about Kali Linux. I have some videos. Look at those ones, and if you have any question, just watch them and put comments. Virtualization with VirtualBox. A lot of these I could create it on Windows subsystem, or I could create it on the VirtualBox, or VMware, or OpenShift. So you could create virtual machines on the system running on a host machine. VirtualBox create isolated virtual environment for testing and learning, enhancing IT system flexibility and scalability. So, and then modern IT and security. With modern IT and security, basically you need to know cybersecurity stuff. You need to know what is nowadays or important. Like earlier, I was showing you cross-site scripting with semicolon and running that one. There's SQL injection, there's operating system command line injection. All of those ones, you could make sure that your system is not compromised. So on the cloud and high performance computing cybersecurity, like if you're running on Amazon Web Services, you have infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. All of these models deliver scalable IT. This based on the Amazon Web Services zones, you run elastic computing, EC2, or some storage, S3, simple storage solution, or S3 might stand for simple storage. I forgot services maybe. So that S3 is basically allowing you to control these models, whether software as a service or a platform as a service or infrastructure as a service. You run different level of you might provide the entire platform or just infrastructure or software as a service. So when you provide it on that one, whether you provide the OS or the application or the database, is based on which architecture you're using it. And then when you do it, and these are based on zone availability in Amazon Web Services, whether you're running your web services with Amazon on the west or the east, maybe in New York, maybe in California, maybe outside of US, all of that one zone availability delivers scalability based on disaster recovery that happens, and accessibility of your data in operating system and application. And IT infrastructure availability is important with backup disaster recovery. But if you are having it in Amazon Web Services, you're guaranteed. Excuse me for a second. Okay, so sorry, my tongue was just I needed some water. Now I'm okay, so I'm going to continue with this one. High performance computing, HPC uses a distributed system and parallel processing to tackle large scale computing problem efficiently. Basically, they provide GPU and CPUs in parallel, so you run parallel processing. And I showed you the OpenMP and OpenACC and codes like that, that you could just have hardware, the GPU and CPU, as well as software with this these compilers directive that you could just put it in and run the code efficiently in parallel. Slurm jobs and bad jobs and other ones are techniques that you could just take advantage of parallel processing. Cybersecurity fundamental. Cybersecurity involves encryption, firewalls, and at least privilege principle to protect system and data. And then there's something also called CIA, with confidential integrity and accessibility. that the system, you're making sure it's confidential, your data, and then its integrity is not compromised and it's accessible when you need it, are available when you need it. So cybersecurity involves encryption, and by doing data at rest, you're encrypting your data. So whatever you store, you have to do data at rest. There's a security nest requirement that the data has to be encrypted, and then that one is uh, one of the standards. At the same time, you're just doing data in transition. So all the data that are sent between the web or transferred between client and server using SCOPY, secure FTP, or a large file transfer, or just on the web, HTTPS or HTTP, which is clear text, they all have to be going through certificate, which is HTTPS, SSL certificate, hypertext transfer protocol, secure socket layer. That one is a TLS, the transport layer socket services. So encryption, when that happens on this one, basically, if it is data at rest, you encrypt it, and data in transition also has to be going through encryption. And then you also have other mechanism that say, okay, for authentication and authorization, you want to say you're authenticating to a server side from a client, whether you're using your iPhone or you're using a laptop, desktop, connecting to a server. When you authenticate to the server side, you are authorized to access a resource. So the authentication, sometimes you have to log in through LDAP, which is not as secure, but you could go to LDAP HTTPS, which is secure, going through encryption. At the same time, you could go through PEM enabled, which is personal information that are encrypted also with the smart card. And then the other thing is two-factor authentication, which is, or multi-factor authentication through authentication of just by giving your password, what you know as your password, and what you have, like a RSA token, or maybe what you have a smart card badge reader that you're putting your smart card with, has a pin to it, and then has your PEV access there. Firewall, every system should have a firewall. Firewall is going to protect you on the local machine, but then you have a firewall on the border routers, so you could connect and have firewalls on different subnets, and then between subnet and outside of your network, to the LAN, to the WAN, to maybe even between countries. And there's DMZ kind of demilitarized zones for the network also, that you could run it and protect us particular subnet on that one. We have done a lot of those kind of work at Jet Propulsion Laboratory myself. And least privilege principle to protect system and data. So that is protecting your data. The complete IT development, again, this course I'm going to talk about AI and data science now. The AI and data science is basically, on AI, you have a lot of large language models, whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, or DeepSeek, or Llama. All of those ones, you could see that they're basically technology that use a branch of computer science that is called AI, artificial intelligence, and the science is one branch of computer science also. So these two branch, you could write algorithm and AI to look at large big data set, or big data, which is called data science. So data about the science of data. So basically, what you're pulling from a data set, that information is knowledge that you could just manipulate it differently for the big data, and then you could use it for your business. So data science tools, Python has these libraries like Pandas, NumPy, TensorFlow, and then our language has a lot of it. And I watch my videos that is there. Whatever language you do, there's always function and libraries and modules available that you have to take advantage of it to just do the same work with AI stuff similar to ChatGPT or Olama, which is free for running it on your local machine. Olama is this one. I have a video there. Llama is the meta version, which is the original Facebook. Gemini is from Google. ChatGPT is from OpenAI. All of DeepSeek is the China version of AI, and that was built by their developers. So security innovation, Google security measures, historical tools like Google anti-gravity. This one is a new tool that Google introduced, which is very, very good for AI and very nice. And there's also a Google security professional certification program on the Coursera and other companies. Google itself has it, but some of those ones are really long, maybe 6 months if you're just taking every week 7 hours, and that course could last that long. However, if you learn them and then you use them, and then maybe you benefited for your work. So look into those courses and certification program if you just want to do it the fast way. At the same time, on my channels, like for example, on this security measures, when you look at it for the Google security measure, they teach you Linux, they teach you, they don't require advanced levels, so knowledge, prior IT knowledge is not required, but at the same time, if you're doing security, yeah, you have to have the prior knowledge. Otherwise, you're not going to just learn it by one course. However, if you're smart enough, you could just watch all these videos and read all those books within 6 months or 3 months. Yes, it's much easier to learn Python, C, Bash scripting, C++, all the cybersecurity vulnerabilities that are defined already, and how to mitigate them, how to patch them, how to apply the security on Linux platform, on Windows platform. Yes, you could do that. So let's see what is next. This one, resources and conclusion. This is end of this video. On the resources, I already covered everything that I should have covered on my resources that I made available. And this is further resources that you need to learn. I'm going to give you a big hint here. Please don't go away yet, because this is the most important part of this video. I already introduced you to my MyWebUniversity website, which is mywebuniversity.com, as well as my MyWebUniversity YouTube channel, MyWebUniversity in Farsi, all of those one, and then my book, The Direct Path to Linux Ubuntu, which has 15 chapters and have all the technical documentation. Please, please, please use chapter 12 of my book, The Dynamic Generation of PDF Files. On that one, when you search for Java or Google or Go or Python or C, C++, anything that you search, take advantage of searching by Control F, HTTPS, and then from there you could go further on the internet and read more technical documentation on the same page. And you might say, Wahid, I have all this documentation on Google. Why would I search on your site? I think on that stage, I would say, yes, you could do that one, but you're going to type in 10 different time for something when you're looking for one subject like Java. If you're going on Java, you go on my website, you type in Java once, and then I give you everything that you need to know about Java from that page of that PDF. Same thing for Python, same thing for GCC, same thing for Ruby, same thing for Perl. You just do one search, I generate you an original PDF file. From that PDF file, now you type in HTTPS, and now you can go on the internet on the same subject that you searched earlier, whether it was Java or Go-Build or Node.js, all of those ones. Once you get to my site, then I take you exactly to the same source. Even if you ask this kind of question from ChatGPT or OpenAI, They give you the documentation that is so much information that all of a sudden you're lost within their technical documentation. You say, this is not what I asked. Yeah, it is helping you a lot of times and those AI stuff, but at the same time, be on the caution that not everything that AI is not always perfect. You have to know what you're looking for. You have to search for something, and then when you search for it, if it doesn't give you the scenario, the solution right, you have to tell them, no, this is not what I was asking. And then your query, sometimes with AI, these large language model could just make the AI confuse itself, that they could give you just for one word that you type in 1,000 different words on it, which is related or not related. You have to change it. By doing it at MyWebUniversity, computer-related courses, online and technical documentation, I have made it so kind of concise and precise to just show you everything you need to know about, let's say, Python. And then by you going to python.org, now everything you're going to learn is about Python modules, Python tutorials, Python libraries, and so on. I don't take you to Java when you type in Python. But if you type in Java, then I take you to java.sun.com or java.oracle.com or something. And similar with GCC, similar with other ones. I take you to the actual source. So please use this technical documentation. This is the page that I was telling you. If you're like, for example, I show you an example here that Python, when you type in and click on that one right here, I already generated the Python PDF file. And here's the technical documentation. And then you do Control F here, type in HTTPS, and then just go to this. Earlier, I went to python.org. This time, I go to dev.python guides. And now here, you just see that. I think I went to the same one last time, but it doesn't matter where you go. Right here, Control F, HTTPS, and then let's say you go to download page. You want to download Python, it's download here. And you can have it for Python 3.4 for Linux, Windows, Mac. You just install it and then go there. Same thing if you're looking for documentation, click here on the documentation, and then there's thousands of documentation, tutorials, everything available. Okay, so I'm going to end the video here, and I hope you subscribe to our channel if you haven't done already. And then this is the complete course that I brought you for at MyWebUniversity YouTube channel. And so if you want to visit our site, you're welcome to go to mywebuniversity.com, and that is the site. And then the direct path to Linux Ubuntu was 15 chapters. And I want to thank you for your time watching this one. Please share this information with your friends and loved ones. And thank you for watching, and thanks for subscribing. Thank you for subscribing. And if you can afford it, please join our channel so I get some support to pay for all these resources that I'm making available for you. God bless you all. Take care, and take care of your loved ones and yourself, and be good on the community and help and support each other. Take care. Peace to all of you.